I was down in the locker room changing, and there was a guy in there, and there was like chit chat, and it was, yeah, did you hear they're closing the place down? And like, yeah, I heard that might happen or something. He said like, yeah, I've been coming here for 75 years. And I was like, wait, what? And I did the math, and I was like, yeah, he's 85, and he's came here when he was 10 to learn how to swim.
And you couldn't shut the doors on these people. How could you lock the door? I mean, some of us had threatened to lock ourselves in the Y before we'd let them have it.
I remember very well. I was in the pool, and I can't remember exactly who, but somebody came into the pool while we were in class and said that it was going to close. And Sarah Normington and I said at the same time, no.
There were no politics involved. It simply was, we want to have this in our neighborhood. We really, really want it. We were the last YMCA with a pool on the east side.
We didn't want it to close. There were so many people from the neighborhood who wanted to keep it going, wanted to keep things open.
So they came over to, from Metro, from Central Branch to talk to and they walked into a gym and it was filled with people. They not only took up all the chairs, they were all the way along the wall. They were outside into the lobby. They told them we were sorry. I can't remember all the excuses. And then people just walked up and took the mic and told them what they thought. This little boy, he was about 7 or 9, and he was on the swim team. His parents priming him. I could hear him go up and tell him how important the swim team is and how it makes you feel good. And he walked up and he grabbed the mic and he said, "You can't close this place because the lady at the front desk talks to me." First, we had to get the money. A-Boy did not buy this place. Dan Dolan, on his own personal property, he promised us that when we could buy it back from him, he'd sell it to us without any interest or anything else. So every month we paid him a monthly rent. It was just incredible.
The Dolans, Dan and Sue Ellen Dolan, were hugely instrumental. They were working at taking iconic buildings in the neighborhood and keeping them, not just taking them down.
Dan Dolan is the person who made this place possible. There's no question about it. Many of us gave hours and hours of effort, but he was the one. And then there was Don and Eunice Wagner, and they did so much for the remodel, but they also ran the fundraiser that got us enough money to turn around and pay Dan Dolan off completely.
Don and Eunice Noel Wagner became very much involved with developing things here, and Don kind of spearheaded all of the physical changes. He was pushing, or he organized how the upgrades and renovation took place, and Gary Gibbs was really, really involved with all of that.
I still remember one early morning. I think it was 2 a.m, and Kirsten Jewell and I and both of our husbands were there laying carpet tile, trying to get a certain room done before the end of before people started coming in the next morning. So we were doing physical work and trying to keep any cost of contractors down. So that was just one thing that happened. There's many different projects that were taken on, but there were some that we were very hands-on,
Literally.
butts in the air doing the work. So yeah, it was. It's hard to think back about doing all of that. And I do remember one of the last projects we took on was the child watch area, and we needed to make certain that there was correct numbers of layers of sheetrock underneath the stairway to make it fireproof and all of that kind of stuff. And so Don had me doing mudding in this really tight space where I'd even get the sheetrock mud in my hair. And I said, this is absolutely the last sheetrock job I'm ever doing. I'm going to give the tools away so we can't do this anymore. So anyway, it was challenging, but you know, he built the structure that is in there at our home, but disassembled it. We put it up in our garage, and so we had access to all of his the saws and everything that he had at the house. So we made it all together, and then unbolted it and brought it over here, and then set it up and rebolted it again. So that's, you know, it was a fun project, and we had a lot of help doing that. It wasn't just us. And the Buildings and Grounds Committee was very influential, and numbers of the members of that, Gary Gibbs, for instance, was very helpful in all the work that was done. So I don't want to say Don and I did this single-handedly. It wasn't that. Maybe we could identify the projects, but we had a lot of volunteers turn up for anything that we were doing.
But we opened that morning, was it February 5th, whatever it was? I don't know what day it was that we actually opened. And there sat Tom Norrington, all nice clean shaved, and he had a little box out there to put the people, and we wondered if anybody would come because we had 0 members. And the computers didn't work. I left them, but they didn't work. So we're sitting there with a box, and people filled out their application for membership and paid. And he sat there all day long. And by the end of the day, we had enough people.
It truly is a community, and it means a lot. I think, well, you know, and you see people who come in here, you know, kids who are super young, right? They're learning to swim, and they may be only maybe less than 3 years old. And then you have people who are in their 80s who come in here. So it really and then obviously you have people, you know, in all of the ages in between. So I think it serves like a tremendous purpose.
I've been hungry for affection, baby.